Eyewitness News is your local election headquarters, and voters in Fall River are at the polls today.
They have two decisions to make on the ballot. One, whether or not to recall embattled Mayor Jaisal Correa.
The second, whether to re-elect Correa or choose one of the four candidates challenging him.
Workers at some of the city's 29 polling locations tell Eyewitness News there's been a steady flow of voters already, and there's about a few hours left to go.
Eyewitness News reporter Kate Walsh continues our local election coverage live from Fall River now. Kate?
We're live inside Fall River Government Center where two precincts vote, and it's actually picked up in the past few minutes. Likely people are getting out of work at this hour. And here's a copy of what the ballot looks like. This is what everyone will get. The first question here asking if they want to recall Mayor Jaisal Correa. And second, no matter how you vote in question one, everyone has the opportunity to then vote who they want for mayor. The future of Fall River Mayor Jaisal Correa will be determined after 8 o'clock tonight.
We are hoping, praying, and God willing, this is going to go our way.
If it doesn't, what's next?
Oh, it's going to go our way, so there's no what's next. What's next is tomorrow I wake up and I come back to my office on the 6th floor.
The city set this recall election after a city council vote of no confidence and the mayor's repeat refusals to step down following his arrest in October. He was indicted on several federal counts of wire fraud and filing false tax claims in connection to his failed startup company, Snow Owl. We spoke with several voters at the polls who still support Correa and voted not to recall him.
I think he deserves a second chance, because he's young and everybody makes mistakes. And I don't think it's right to ruin his life, not give him a chance to prove that he's sorry and keep doing a good job. Everybody's got their own opinion.
Others not so confident.
But when you're in that political position and you're at that on the 6th floor, you have to set an example. He's not setting a very good example, personal-wise.
Four candidates are running against Correa in this election. They are City Councilor Joe Camara, Director of Development for the South Coastal Legal Services Erica Scott Pacheco, School Administrator Kyle Riley, and School Committee Member Paul Coogan. Polls are open across Fall River until 8 o'clock tonight, and new at 6 o'clock tonight, we'll explain how Mayor Correa could be they could choose for him not to be re-elected, but also he could still win the election at the same time. Live in Fall River, I'm Kate Walsh, Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Walt. Now at 6, your local election headquarters covering the mayoral recall in Fall River. Voters have been casting their ballots in the city's second recall in 5 years.
And they have two decisions to make, whether or not to recall Mayor Jaisal Correa and who should be mayor going forward. Eyewitness News reporter Kate Walsh joins us now live to explain how Correa could get recalled but still stay on as mayor. Kate?
Well, Mike and Shannon, we are live inside Government Center with a little under 2 hours left of voting tonight. And here's a copy of the ballot everyone gets tonight when they come in to vote. Again, the first question is, do people want to recall Mayor Jaisal Correa? And regardless of how they answer that, yes or no, everyone can also answer the second question, who they want to vote in as mayor. So that could mean that the possibility is out there. Mayor Correa could be voted to be recalled and voted back in.
We're not going to get recalled.
A special recall election will determine the future of Jaisal Correa as mayor of Fall River for the next several months until the regular mayoral election this fall. Before voting in his precinct Tuesday, the mayor stopped by his office at City Hall, confident he will not be recalled.
We are hoping, praying, and God willing, this is going to go our way.
If it doesn't, what's next?
Oh, it's going to go our way, so there's no what's next. What's next is tomorrow I wake up and I come back to my office on the 6th floor.
Not only are voters asked if they want to recall the mayor, but also who they would like to be mayor.
I think you're lucky to get people to turn out once, never mind twice. So I think this is the best way you can handle it.
Four candidates are running against Correa: Joe Camara, Erica Scott Pacheco, Kyle Riley, and Paul Coogan. Voters hoping the results are an accurate representation of the whole city.
It all depends on what your turnout is, you know, and if you have to vote in order to, to get the end results. So that's what we're hoping for.
The city set this recall election in response to Mayor Correa's indictment on several federal counts of wire fraud and filing false tax returns. Voters seem to be coming in waves, and polls are open until 8 o'clock tonight across the city's 29 precincts. Be sure to stay with Eyewitness News both on air and on our website, WPRI.com, for updates. We will have those for you as soon as the results are announced tonight. Live in Fall River, I'm Kate Walsh, Eyewitness News.